Hello, hello, and welcome back to Temptations Ballad. We're we're still with Artemi, having a bad day. It's fine. A familiar voice buzzed through the stone with a booming laugh.
Hello? Can anyone hear me?
The sound of the Knight Commander Gronk's warm voice. Artemi snapped her at the sound. Okay, at the sound of Knight Commander Gronk's warm voice, Artemi snapped her head up. Air rushed through her lungs, and her breathing suddenly felt easier. She trembled and attempted to hold back her tears. Ooh, that looks a little loud on the levels. That's fine. We'll turn that down a little bit. Yes, Knight Commander. This is Bishop Katrina speaking.
I'm afraid I am an old bear. All these newfangled arcane crystals and speaking stones are an absolute hassle to figure out. It appears our beloved bishop has trouble with them as well, since I just overheard your entire conversation.
Katrina's eyes widened in surprise, and her expression scrunched into a disgusted scowl.
Artemi, I hope you are doing well. What a day, eh? I would be there with you right now, but I'm afraid I'm busy haggling with City Watch at the moment.
Sure enough, arguing voices can be heard in the background of the call.
This, aggravating fella keeps screaming about how we shouldn't drop charges on a wanted, exhibitionist. Yes, hyena. Oh, I can't repeat the rest of this in decency.
Gronk laughed and cleared his throat.
Anyway, back to business. Dear Bishop Katrina, I must ask you to kindly cease all of this useless threatening to our Artemi. Sowing seeds of fear into her will not help the situation.
Katrina let out a harsh hiss as she gripped the speaking stone tightly. She disobeyed orders. She made a fool of herself and the church. Misdemeanors must be disciplined. Gronk's booming voice continues speaking, as though he didn't hear a single word she just said.
And you absolutely will not withhold Artemi's title from her. This is an order.
His tone suddenly dipped into a low, dangerous rumble.
History will not condemn the creators chosen for losing a lousy piece of jewelry. Young Artemi, while you have a long task ahead of you, do not be discouraged by this small shortcoming. You are dismissed. Go get some rest and worry about recovering these rubies tomorrow after you're no longer exhausted from today's ordeals.
Despite the fact that Gronk could not see her, Artemi bowed her head deeply. Thank you, Knight Commander. I will not let you down again. Katrina let out a low scoff. Knight Commander Gronk Stormborn. You are the one who allowed her this mission despite my orders. Upon your head lies the consequences should she fail. Gronk laughed cheerfully.
I will happily take this wager.
Okay. He's a nice guy. I like him. Artemi felt utterly exhausted in both body and spirit when she retreated to her small room. Her eyes could barely stay open, all the strength drained from her limbs. She collapsed onto the lumpy bed with a deep sigh. Some people are born a little disappointing. Cole's previous words rang through her head as she squeezed her eyes shut. That couldn't be true, could it? But Artemi sighed again. After all the mishaps from today alone, she couldn't help but think there was a little truth to his words. She rolled over her uncomfortably lumpy mattress and was abruptly met with the sound of crunching paper. Huh? She fumbled her hands across the mattress and retrieves a small piece of paper. Is she lying on her bed in full armor? Okay. A letter? Her heart skips a beat as she immediately recognizes Knight Commander Gronk's messy handwriting. She quickly unfolds the paper with a small smile on her face in spite of her dreary mood.
Hello, my dear people. I apologize for not being unable to meet you in person after your first mission outside the church district. I am busy organizing recovery teams for the royal family and sorting out this illegal fighting ring business. You deserve better from this dusty old letter with my atrocious handwriting scribbled across it.
Warmth fluttered across her chest, and she let out a soft laugh. Oh, Knight Commander.
I know you must be in a horrible state after the verbal beating your mother no doubt gave you. Do not listen to a single word of hers. You must be feeling terrible, but know that these feelings will pass. Failure is a part of life, and everything is a learning process. Though failure is a ruthless teacher, take this as an opportunity to improve. You will only grow better from here on. And look on the bright side. You'll finally experience your first day outside you've experienced your first day outside the church district. Was it fun? Exciting? Surely it could not have been entirely bad. I wish to hear all about it once I've returned from my tasks. Prepare to tell the tales of your adventure when I return for our usual tea and cookie session. Did you make any good friends?
Artemi reaches to the end of the letter, her smile fading. She folded it up and leaned her head back, staring quietly at the stone ceiling. I don't know. She closed her eyes and let the silence of the cold room wash over her. Huh. Well, I suppose I did learn something new today. Knight Commander, have you ever heard of a gesture called a high five? That's cute. Chapter 1, The Liar, the Commoner, and the Chosen One. End. Chapter Glossary, as of Chapter 1. Proceed to Chapter 2? Should I click these? It said glossary. I don't need to click them, right? It's fine. We'll go. Proceeding. Chapter 2. Vulnerability and Risk. I hope I said that right. I am half awake. Marauders District. A Bonebreaker mercenary company. Nighttime. The night was quiet and still at the Bonebreaker mercenary company. Quite unusual. After many long hours partying and drinking with his papa and the other mercenaries, Cole has retired to his attic in a happy daze of exhaustion and quickly fell into a deep slumber. His chest rose and fell softly into the dim room while he slept. It was little wonder that Cole failed to notice the dim red glow in his pocket as the stolen ruby pulsated with life. Oh, wisps of infernal magic flicker gently across the room and wash over Cole's unconscious body, gently probing his unguarded mind. A low voice suddenly rumbles through the night. Its deep tone reverberates through Cole's chest like a dark, rich ocean wave. Clody Bonebreaker.
Are you worthy of my temptation?
Cole mumbled obliviously in his sleep and rolled over. More whiffs of infernal energy spill out of Cole's pocket and surround him in a fog of red. The deep rumbling voice leaned closer with an amused hum.
Temptation is a decision. In the heat of the moment, taunted by others' expectations, of your own desire, you must choose. What do you value more? It is within that moment's decision that one's truth is revealed.
Infernal magic raked at the back of Cole's mind as the voice laughed.
I wonder what I will find within you. Detect thoughts.
Okay, Cole was suddenly in a freefall. He gasped and flailed aimlessly as incoherent memories of voices flew past him in his descent. Cole squeezed his eyes shut and shook his head wildly. He was clearly dreaming. Nothing makes sense right now. But this felt much too lucid for a normal dream. Suddenly, everything stopped. A single memory. Oh my god, do I have the hiccups? Fuck. That's fine. It's fine. Oh. A single memory clawed to the surface with his mind and flooded with his senses. I don't like that noise. I don't like it. He was still a young boy on the day he was injured. Still young at the age of 14, and still full of dreams of becoming the greatest warrior in the land, and a worthy son of the great Morrow Bonebreaker. Cole had been fed tales of his father's great deeds throughout his entire youth, and the thought of living up to even a fraction of Papa's legend filled him with utter excitement. One day he would be just as great as Papa and continue his grand tale of adventure. Perhaps Cole would become just as legendary. Such was youth, filled to the brim with optimism and misplaced hopes in the future. Then came the injury. Cole wishes that the injury occurred due to the great battle, or maybe during an intense sparring match. That would have made for an interesting story, at the very least. But no. The injury happened during the most basic training exercise, his first training exercise. Calling it an exercise at all was being generous. That morning, young Cole had rushed into the Bonebreaker Guild's training room with giddy anticipation. It would be his first time wielding a weapon. He had chosen an axe, just like his papa. Then Cole promptly spent about 10 minutes struggling to even lift it off the ground. No matter how he heaved and threw his weight about, his skinny little arms couldn't lift the battle axe. After a while, he tried lifting a smaller axe, only to be met with the same result. Then a smaller size, and then an even smaller one. Finally, he managed to wield a tiny throwing axe with relative ease, though it still felt rather heavy in his grip. Unfortunately, Papa was away on mercenary business that morning and wasn't there to see Cole's embarrassing bumbling. Cole spent 1 short hour in the sparring room that day. Hamish directed him on basic weapons drills, proper grip, and battle stances. Cole followed his instructions enthusiastically, paying little mind to the growing strain and soreness that began blooming in his forearm and calves. Pain was just weakness leaving the body, after all. He would never become a great warrior like Papa without a little soreness. But the pain kept growing. By the end of the hour, young Cole could barely stand. Hamish found him curled up on the floor in a mess of quivering limbs and distressed sobs. The rest of the day was a painful blur to young Cole. He remembered Hamish's soothing words and comforting grip as the old hyena carried him across town. They had rushed him to the nearest healer in the city. Hamish got into a squabble with several other patients as he fought his way to the front of the line. A long, agonizing examination and treatment followed. Cole remembered the healers prodding his pained limbs with magic, with pouring bitter herb mixtures down his throat. The healer and Hamish spoke in hushed tones while Cole laid unmoving on a bed and waited for the pain to subside.
Well, did you find out what went wrong?
The healer spoke hesitantly. Our examination showed your son's body to be unexpectedly feeble. There were slight tears along his arms and leg muscles from what sounds like simple, lightly strenuous activity. He will recover from this easily, but we advise you to avoid repeating these activities on a frequent basis. Cole shot up from his bed and immediately slumped back down as pain racked viciously through his limbs. What? Wait! What about my mercenary training? How will I? Cole's voice died in his throat as the pitying expression on the healer. At the pitying expression of the healer. I am very sorry, young man. You mean I can never become a warrior like Papa? Your father tells me that you struggled through a severe illness as an infant, did you not? While you have recovered, it appears the disease had a lasting impact on your body. I see this happen very often in children who fall ill during their early development stages. You are very small for a boy your age. Your muscles are practically weak and fragile, likely from stunted growth. While your body may grow slightly more resilient with age, it is unlikely you will ever grow to a state where you can become an effective warrior. As a healer, I strongly recommend you pursue a different career. Young Cole's voice cracked at the helplessness of the situation dawned upon him. But you said I'll probably grow better with age. Isn't there a chance? Young man, please think about this. As a mercenary, you will undoubtedly face perilous combat situations that many able-bodied warriors. While your body may grow slightly more resilient to the strain, others will still hold the advantage over you. The likelihood of you dying needlessly in battle is almost a guarantee. I recommend you leave such tasks to men more befitting of the task. Cole fell silent. His head slumped back limply. His chest lurched painfully as he tried to wrap his arms around his situation. His mind, not arms. Whoa! All his hopes and dreams vanished in an instant. A gentle, comforting hand rested on his shoulder. Hamish leaned close with a sympathetic smile. It's okay, kiddo. It's not the end of the world. You don't have to be a warrior to be a great man in life. Your papa and I will... Hot anger flashes across Cole's chest. He whipped his head around and glared at Hamish furiously. That's it? You're giving up on my chance on becoming a warrior? Just like that? I thought you believed in me. No, Cole. That's not what I meant. Cole hardly remembered what Hamish said. Only a deep well of frustration and fury filled his young mind as he lashed out at Hamish. Cruel words and blame spilled from his throat with angry tears, while angry tears ran down his cheeks. It was unfair, all of it. Unfair. Cole also knew it was unfair of him to pour all his resentment on Hamish, but it felt better to continue yelling than pause and dwell upon the pit of despair that filled his chest. Cole let out a gasp and his eyes snapped open. The world around him was still dark in the depths of his lucid dream. What in the world was happening to him? A deep, sinister voice chuckled, the sound of reverberating in every direction.
A runt, eh? And filled with such shame and doubt, you will make the perfect host for me.
Cole snapped and clawed at the nothingness around him. Get the fuck out of my head!
I am a friend. I can help you in your plight. You wish to become a great warrior like your father before you. You seek power. I can provide it. All that you desire could be within your grasp. All you need to do is accept my pact.
Who are you?
The voice chuckled again. You may call me.
Okay. I think I'll end the part here, so I'll see you around, everyone.